One of the favorite sermons I ever heard a pastor do was the sermon was on the main thing about the main thing is keeping the main thing, Stephen
Mm,
Covey-ish. But he spent the whole time of the sermon talking about your main thing is determined by your wallet and your calendar. And then he
exactly.
went into the Eisenhower matrix to explain how you need to think about that. So if you want stronger connections, those are the two equations that you have to look at. If you want more competence about something in your life, you have to look at those equations, getting back
Mhm.
to self determination theories. So that's why I wanted to hit on it. The other thing
Mm,
I really liked was your technique of time boxing
yeah.
because to me, a lot of people say, I never have time to focus on what really matters for me. And I thought that this technique is so important because it can be applied to relationships, personal growth, self care. Can you explain what it is and what's the best way to get started?
Absolutely. So first of all, you do have time. I hear this all the time. We do have time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, and you can do it all. You really can do it all. You just can't do it all at the same time. So, one of the problems with the self help community is that we use a lot of research that doesn't have very good backing. So, it turns out that this technique that everybody uses, I used to use it, is the to do list. And to do lists are one of the worst things you can do for your personal productivity because to do lists have no constraints. You can always add more to a to do list. So, here's what invariably happens: you add more and more things to a to do list. You come home from work every day, you're exhausted, you look at the to do list, and here's all these things you still didn't get done. So, what does that do to your psyche if day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, you're looking at this list of things that you said you were going to do and you didn't? Loser. And so that's why people get this terrible dialogue, these limiting beliefs in their heads that says, "Oh, I'm no good. I don't know how to manage my time. Maybe I have undiagnosed something or another." And they think that there's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with them. Again, it's this stupid technique that has very little scientific backing. That to-do lists are not the best personal productivity technique. The best personal productivity technique used, and this has been studied thousands of times. I didn't invent it. It was around before I was born. It's called setting an implementation intention. It is the best technique that few people use. And that is simply saying what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. And people don't do it. Those who don't do it, either they don't know about it or they don't do it because they're scared that if they did it, they would do the work. And so they have this little saboteur that says, "Ooh, if I actually schedule the workout, I might have to actually go work out, and I don't want to." So again, this is step 2. Back to step 1, the most important step. If you don't deal with those mind goblins in your head that are telling you, "This hurts, I don't wanna do it, this sucks, let me escape." If you don't deal with those internal triggers, none of the other techniques will work. You have to tackle step 1 first to have arrows in your quiver ready to go that will kill those mind goblins telling you how terrible the behavior is. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is then planning when you're going to do the behavior because unlike with a to-do list, a time box calendar where you say, here's what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it, now you have a constraint. And that constraint is 24 hours in a day. Unlike a to-do list that can go on and on, a time box calendar only gives you 24 hours in a day. So it forces you to make those trade-offs. So if it's taking care of your kids or your ailing parents or exercise or working or playing video games, you have to make that trade off. And any trade off you want to make is fine. It's not up to me or anyone else to tell you how to live your life. You have to decide based on your values, but you're doing it in advance. Because remember, if there's one thing I want everyone to remember, it's that you can't call something a distraction unless you know what it distracted you from. I'm going to say it again. You cannot call something a distraction unless you know what it distracted you from. So if there's nothing on your calendar, what didn't you have time for exactly? What did you get distracted from? Everything is a distraction unless you know what you got distracted from. So that's why we have to plan out our day. And I mean down to the minute. Doesn't mean you can't have fun. You can plan time to watch TV or play video games or take a walk or do whatever you want, but plan it in advance. Okay. Very important technique. That's the only way we can turn our values into time.